That's totally
Shit, Paul!
sorry.
Hey everybody, welcome to Raptors In The Kitchen. It's Tuesday the 16th of September 2014. I'm your host Alan Kerr, joined by Paul Faulkner.
Hello. Hiding away. Hello.
Yeah, we've moved position, so we're actually all on the screen on the one side
This
now.
is really lovely.
Can you believe it?
All friends. Da-da-da.
It's all because of a busted ass mic.
Yeah, what a
Busted
piece of
ass,
shit.
mate.
So if you're listening last week, you can only apologise, unless you hate Paco, in which case, you know, you lucky you.
So Sammy Ward, good effort for you.
She pulled me up about that again.
Did she?
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, he said that to me," and I was like, "Well, what do you want then? You're not the only one."
Well, what? Who else?
I can't.
Names.
Does Sammy not like Paco?
No.
Yeah, I was
What's
actually
that?
like, you gonna stop this? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
She says I'm always wrong.
Ooh.
Hi, Sammy.
All I really said to her was, "Yeah, I know, man. I live with him."
That's fine, you talk about him.
Lauren is also here.
Hey, hey!
Paco Rodriguez.
Hello,
Rodriguez.
Paco Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Oh!
Good one. More of that. And we'll start turning your mic back on.
So it gets the juice flowing, is it?
And Tommy Bass.
Hello.
Oh, very forthright to the point.
Mm-hmm.
No messing around.
No, not really.
Taking care of
How are
business.
you, Alan? What have you been up to this week?
I watched some films and took a week off work because my flatmate is on holiday.
See,
So I've been enjoying
I figured that's why you were off that week. I was like, man.
So I've been enjoying not having her here. Is that what that was going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's had two of those. So far, so good.
So is it Naked Thursday every day? Thursday?
Plates are washed. That's the main thing. Plates are washed. They don't get dirty again.
So-
Have you
Little things.
started in her room just like,
No,
I can't
Close,
stand that.
close that door.
Farting
Kerosene,
down.
kerosene.
Yeah.
Are you the neat one out of the two?
Yeah. I'm not even that neat. I'm just not an animal.
Tommy's the messy one out of the
Why
two.
do you share a black with a cow? No, like not a cow. Like a real cow, not like a wild animal. A badger.
A Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly.
You're digging a hole. You're digging a hole.
I'm very sorry, Alan's flatmate won't listen.
No, she doesn't.
That makes it even worse than he's just sitting behind her back rather than to her face.
It's on the internet.
Yeah,
She wants to find it. It'll be there.
I'll let her know you called her a cow.
I'll let you know this, internet. If I've got something bad to say about you, I will say it to your face. Sammy.
I watched a documentary that you also watched. In fact,
Well, we're all gonna
and Laura watched.
Yes, so we're all going to talk about that
St. Paul.
So
I didn't know about it until today.
we'll get to that in a
What's
minute.
it now?
Now that that Paul, I still watched it.
there. But Paco only watched it because I suggested you should watch it.
And like Paco, I played an awful lot of Destiny.
Yeah.
Please tell us about that, Len.
Alright, snarky.
It's not like it's Dota, you're not big or whatever.
What did you do, Paul?
I've just been. So I've been live by myself.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
been the big thing.
Your woman's away to Ireland.
Yeah, for 3 years. It's not like it's just a bit of a holiday.
I know.
It's a serious, legit thing. Yeah, it's been pretty weird. It's been okay.
Did you get through the first night alright?
No, I cried all that night. No, that was no like it has been like fine until like Friday night. Kind of came around and I wasn't working, and it was just like a bit of a moment like, oh, like I definitely should have like planned something.
Yeah.
Because here I am now, just like
Paul.
What do I do?
We will come round and shifts and cuddle. Cuddle shifts.
It's one-
You're okay.
It's one of those things as well, when you don't live alone, you think, oh, it's fine, it's free time. But then like, when you do live alone, it's like, oh man, I've like watched every DVD in here, like I'm now bored of the internet, I've read every book, it's like nothing to do, and you're like, oh man, I've got like friends, let's phone them. They've all got plans. Or they're just not up for it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Good
Staring
bad.
at the abyss, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a bit scared.
Still crazy.
Yeah. Well, that like I spent the weekend watching a lot of Gravity Falls and Louis,
Alright, yeah.
and I. My dearest text saying that she started season 2 of House of Cards and nearly choked on her toast with the first episode of it.
Oh, aye, that's good. That
So I need to finish season 1.
So you can have
season 1 and 2 is awesome.
discussions.
Man.
Yeah, just I want to choke on something.
Oh, okay.
I'm so lonely.
That's what you're alive again.
Yeah, no, it's not been a particularly exciting week. Like back at college.
Already?
Are you starting the radio show again?
That like I don't know if I'm allowed to.
Oh, breaking
Oh.
news.
Like the radio station during the summer disappeared. Like,
Was it like under mysterious
Did someone
circumstances?
steal the radio station?
Have you checked the locks?
It's like, yeah, you opened the door and it just was an empty room.
the room where it was kind of outside space where the marketing people were,
Uh-huh.
a couple of people who've been in the college or whatever, they were being moved, and like everybody kind of knew that, and that was being turned into a classroom or storage space or something. Nobody quite knew exactly, but the guy who's in charge of the radio station got a phone call at the start of the holidays and was like, we're going to like destroy the room where the radio station is. And he said, well, no, that's not okay. That's absolutely, we spent a huge amount of, we're talking thousands of pounds on all this equipment. And they're like, all right, okay, that's fine, we won't do it then. And he returned to the college after the holidays, and the equipment was gone.
Just like notes said, "Psych."
Yeah, fuck you, basically. And nobody was taking like
responsibility
for it. He was chasing around all the different heads of the school and everyone, and eventually he found the equipment, but like it was in like a storage room like off the library somewhere on a different floor completely. But nobody had a key to get into the room.
How did you know it was there then?
I have. It's really only class time that we've been kind of getting drip fed this. So 1 week he had no idea what it was. The next week he was like, "Well, I found it, but I can't get access to it." But there's a kind of window in the door or whatever.
Oh,
Just
right,
like,
okay. So he's not like psychic or
no, yeah. They're just using sonar or whatever.
Echolocation.
And
Just kick the door in.
well, this is
If they're gonna destroy his room, destroy the fucking door.
And
I'll
like,
kick it in through.
it looked like we were going to be like like a really, really shitty, very small, really crap room. But fortunately, we're going to be next door to where the radio station used to be. So, like,
So it's not going to be like a really small room where it's going to be, the show's going to be called like Paul's movie cupboard.
yup, yeah, exactly.
So- What is the radio room now? Is it like a storage room, you said?
At the moment, all of it's still being built. Like that entire kind of area is still kind of being constructed, and basically all the rooms, or this one big area with the two small rooms, is all being reshaped. And we are going to be given the smallest room for the station, so it's a couple of weeks off until we know
What's going on with that?
what's going on. If all the equipment still works,
But can you say for a fact that Paul's popcorn corner will return?
I don't know at the moment. Like hopefully so.
Will
I
it be in
guess.
some kind of corner?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, really, really small
somewhere.
corner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if I'm having to ham radio it out to everyone. It's,
The ham radios won't like that. It's not for messing.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
official.
What would your handle be?
Army business.
That would be your handle, Army Business.
It's not even the same as your gamer tag. That's essentially the modern day handle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Have we discussed your gamer tag and how confusing it is to people?
Oh, pal with an extra U.
Yeah.
But it's exactly as it's said, except for U, which is just the letter U. And it's not Paul, even though that's my name. It's pal, because the whole point is you are the person in addition to me, which makes you my pal.
But also,
And you added you to the word
the word
Paul.
Paul.
It says Paul.
it's multi-tiered. See, like I just straight up went for my name.
Is it Aquar UK?
Yeah.
But you put out various guises. Was it the
Fake Spaniard.
Yeah.
fake Spaniard and the
Curious Squid.
Curious Squid?
Is one of
Yeah.
them?
You know, every time you log in and out of PSN, it's Paco, are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, Paco.
That's good. That's like I'm alright with that. Like there's other people who seem to read it as Pecora. Like I don't know why.
They're just looking for an excuse, aren't they?
I'm just hungry.
I get that with my one though, because I thought, oh, Vastard, but a lot of folk read it as Vastard, which is that's.
So that's where the root of that word comes from, though.
Base hard.
Well, it's like base tard is what bastard.
Oh,
okay. So
What does that mean?
right, it's in like tard to mean slow, and base
As in
being
fish.
is in like
when you're gonna drop,
Instrument?
when you're gonna drop it.
is in base born kind of
Do
thing.
you have
It's
your
like,
PS4 with the camera?
no?
Alright, okay.
See now I said that, like I don't actually know if that's true. Craig probably was probably going red right now. Like the tard part is definitely taken from like
Slow.
yeah.
Hmm.
Bastard.
Craig,
Yeah.
let us know.
I'm gonna look it up.
Is yours? Is it? What's your? You liquid also? No, lipstick also.
Lipstick also. Yeah.
What you, Alan?
Super Disco Bacon?
That's kind of funny.
It's a Beastie Boys
But
reference.
it used to be Acquiesce, Alan.
Yeah, that was rubbish.
That was rubbish. I'm
Yeah.
glad you changed it.
Yeah, me too. That concludes the gamer tag.
So others, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do, Laura?
I
What
did.
did you do, Laura?
What did I do? Well,
You put your name on the telly?
Oh,
I did. I did get my number
Yeah, the world
She was one of the lottery balls. One of the lottery balls.
Presenting my number 4.
Production team's own, Laura and Emil.
Yeah, I got my first TV credit, which was.
You can be on IMDb now.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what
the
I mean.
rival Sean
Yeah.
fucking Feely.
I know.
Fuck you, Sean.
He's always tooting his horn. Like, no, look at me.
My colleague here.
My stripy shirt.
My IMDb.
Yeah.
Spandex.
How much time do you think? Like, I bet he spent time making up his own IMDb profile. Like, he must have.
Have I told you the story about him and...
Is it not like kind of up to you to
It's like a wiki, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anybody can do
Well,
it.
like, did I tell you about him and the other Sean Feely?
No. Did they have a fight? Was it a?
There's a I think he works for Pixar. I might make that begin that wrong. There's another Sean Feely there who is like in the industry.
Yeah, the entertainment industry.
And he was getting credits for things that our Sean Feely had done, and so Sean went and looked up this guy, and he saw that his Twitter handle was The Real Big Feel.
Nice.
And so Sean was like, he wrote a tweet just saying like, not only is this guy getting credit for my work, but he has a better Twitter name than I do. # Sean Feely Problems. So then this other Sean Feely replied to it saying we should pull together and join our work efforts. # Sean Feely Synergy.
What is Sean's Twitter handle?
I think it's just like, I don't know, Feely
That's
or whatever. I don't know.
Ah.
It's nothing interesting. I don't think. We don't really use it that
He
much.
does nothing interesting.
Yeah, like at Sean Feely or something.
My
like that.
God.
Paco's currently looking up the kind of root of the word bastards.
Yeah, I'm not having any luck with it though. Okay, fuck you, Wikipedia. I should really have looked up dictionary.com.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is better than last week's one though. We know what that was before the show. Did we talk about that on the show?
I don't think so. No.
It was to do with it was like why people get erections in the morning.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Just glanced over at Paco's phone and he was looking at nocturnal engorgement or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah, no, that's two different things. You were thinking of
Those
vaginal engorgement,
vaginal engorgement.
which is like the women's version of an erection, where apparently
That's fine.
The flaps engorged.
I can't remember.
You went and saw Guardians again, Laura?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
You like it as much as the second time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I worked. I completed The Wolf Among Us, which is
Oh
fun.
yeah.
I like that better than The Walking Dead.
I can see it.
Stuff. I watched lots of Netflix and
What did you watch on Netflix?
I watched the voiceover / voice acting documentary we're going to discuss in a
Stay
minute.
tuned.
Stay tuned, man.
It's not called Stay Tuned though.
It's not called Stay Tuned, unfortunately. I watched The Raid.
Had you seen the movie before?
Brilliant.
Yes.
Okay.
Brilliant.
I watched The Rock.
Awesome as
Just
well.
movie began with R.
Yep, Raid and The Rock. And
The Rescuers.
I haven't seen The Rescuers in a long time.
Have you seen both of them though?
Both the Raids? Both
No,
the Raids?
Rescuers and Rescuers Down Under.
Yes, I have.
Mm.
Rescuers Down Under is far better.
Wow.
It is. And yeah, that was about it. That's all I've done.
Paco, I mean,
Pretty much.
I'm still obsessed with trying to find out where the bastard kind of comes
Well,
from.
from Bass to Vass.
Nice.
Tell me, what did you do?
that's why you get the middle chair.
So what did I do? I worked a lot, watched some movies. I was at a loose end the other day, and I remember talking to my friend Casper. We mentioned him a couple of times on the show.
Casper!
About watching the movie Roadhouse because he had never seen it, and I was like, I'm going to watch this again. So just because, Parks and Rec made me want to watch it again. So like I was like, right, come on up and we'll do that, and it's just everybody has it, that pleasure of having a friend sit there watching a movie that you love and you know they're probably going to love, and they're watching it for the first time, and it was just it was great. Paco was there as well.
Yeah, well, for the most part, I had to go to bed before the bed.
Yeah. An amazing bit in Roadhouse when Swayze does this super secret move that he is
secret.
but he's ashamed of, but he has to use it in self-defense.
It's a little bit brave.
Yeah. Casper's face was priceless. He just was in utter. He's like, dude, did he just rip his heart out? And I was like, no, man. And he's like, rewind it, and we watched it again. He was like, wow, and it was like, yeah, man, it was great. And I actually thought that's when the film ended, but it didn't. It's got like an hour, like 20 minutes after that, and it's also just awesome. Jackie Treehorn's in it, he's the villain.
Yeah. Such a good movie. Like,
it is a really good movie.
Watching it again this time round, like, especially with someone who hasn't seen it before, it's interesting to see them pick up on stuff that maybe you missed as well. Because, like, I don't remember Jackie Treehorn's actual name in it.
Brad Wesley.
That's the one.
Wesley!
Like, for most of the movie, he isn't really a villain. He's just a rich guy who's enjoying his money.
Yeah, which is really cool.
He flies about in a helicopter. He's driving his convertible.
Yeah.
He's got like a quad bike that he drives with his hand. He has like
got
massive pool parties.
Yeah.
He just has a great time for like the first hour.
Yeah. Have you seen Roadhouse?
Nah.
Right. Okay. Synopsis.
I've seen Chris Pratt detail it in
Yeah, but like,
so.
okay, but yeah, Swayze. It's like late 80s, and it is a total 80s B movie, but it's fantastic. He plays a guy called Dalton, who's like the best bouncer. That's it. He's like the best bouncer around.
Well, he's
Yeah,
the second best bouncer.
Well, he's a set, kinda, yeah. Depends how you look at it. But he is then hired to basically bounce this club that is in this little town with all these problems. And so he comes in, he's going to kind of sort things out. But in doing that, he angers the local kind of kingpin. The guy kind of secretly runs everything. But yeah, it's got all these 80s movies tropes. So he's like a lone wolf. His name's Dalton. He's got a past. He's got like, he's something he's running from, and it ends up like coming back to him in the film. The villain, it's so good. There's like a bit where he rolls into town. You think he'll just get a motel or whatever. He goes to this guy's farm, and the guy's like, "I'm sorry, I've only got this barn." And he goes up, it's like a penthouse suite, honestly. And we're like, "This is the biggest fire hazard ever." It's like there's a fire there,
no door.
There's no door. There's an oven, and there's like a fire. And I was like, there's hay everywhere and wood. It's like, this goes up, it's game over.
But it looks amazing though.
It does look amazing, and what else is amazing about it is Jackie Treehorn, or Brad Wesley's house, is directly across the water. And so it's like, man,
it's such a good movie. Have you never seen it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, watch it, but it's not like good in like an actual
Good way.
quality way. It's good in a what the fuck is going on here.
Yeah, but it's not. I still don't think it's bad. I'm like, no, this is a really good. This has its place.
It's got good action moments.
Yeah.
Like there's a part where Patrick Swayze puts a guy's face through a table, which is fun.
Yeah, Terry Funk's in it as well. He body presses.
Terry Funk?
Yeah, he body presses a couple of folk, and Swayze fires him because he doesn't like his attitude.
He's got the wrong attitude for the job.
And of course, the love interest is Kelly Lynch, who's basically your typical kind of 80s blonde babe, but it's like we don't want her to look kind of stupid, so she's the town doctor. So it's is
it the Michael Bay of like put her in glasses and a lab coat and there you go?
Bingo! She does have glasses and a lab coat. She's got big red gags, but yeah. Oh, it was just excellent. But again, you probably all had that where you sat there with someone and says, "Right, man, are you ready for this? This is gonna be great." And just watching them enjoy it to the same level you are, and like me and Paco were saying, it's like, I never thought of that, and I never thought of that either. And again, it's not like it's a major thinker, it's just nice to notice things that you didn't know.
Like another thing I also said that I never really considered when I was watching it was how he found it really funny that everybody just seemed to know the names of these legendary bouncers.
Yeah, it's not like
it was like in legend, it was all kind of hearsay and like, oh man, that's that bouncer, my god, he's actually here.
Paco, these are the new knights.
Is that what it is?
Like the town.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Swayze rolls it, it's like, oh, it's Dalton! I'm like, man, folk know who he is.
Sam Elliott shows up as like his old mentor friend.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, it's Dalton's old mentor friend.
That guy,
yeah.
That guy, I forget his name.
Yeah, I can't remember Sam Elliott's name in it, but yeah, again, it was just really good fun.
He's a fucking bouncer from a different town. He's a legend.
I also finished, watched that was excellent, and then I was watching some more Netflix as well, and I finished all of the TV show The Shield.
How's it end?
It was excellent. Again, you always worry with a TV show, 7 seasons worth, you're like, I'm really invested in this, I hope it goes well. And yeah, it ends exactly how I guess it should. I mean, I never guessed it, but I was like, okay, no, that's come to think about it, that's exactly how it should have ended. So I encourage everybody to watch it. If you like The Wire, if you just like really well written cop dramas, this is absolutely a cut above the rest. It's not as good as The Wire, but I would easily slot that. It's slot into my top 5, top 10 TV shows of all time. I really, really enjoyed it. What else did I did? Yeah, been swimming a lot. Nice to swim. I actually today, it's like, do you ever get this where you're like, right, okay, you've kind of planned your day out where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go for a swim, and then I'm gonna go get some dinner at Asda. But I'm actually kind of hungry, so I'm really craving like a cream cheese and salmon bagel. And I'm
I get that all the time.
Yeah,
but right, so
that's just an average Monday.
yeah, but I'm saying it could be that or any sandwich, but that was me today. So I was like, okay, so I'm gonna go, and I did all my
Glad you
shopping,
fucking down.
and my day was going really well. And then it's like the one thing I was looking forward to, there was no cream cheese bagels. And I was like, man, do you know, this
Someone
day
get Bob
was
Geldof
going.
on the phone. We need
I was like, I don't ask for much, but.
Bagel egg?
But that was it. But yeah, that was my only disappointment day.
Was that at the swimming baths you were wanting a bagel?
I wanted it after the swimming bath because swimming works up an appetite and stuff.
Mm.
But yeah, so
If there was like a bit in it where you could get bagels when you were still in the pool, would you ever eat the bagel in the pool?
no, that's insane. Why would I do that?
Am I the only one who's getting the bagel, or is everybody else
Yeah.
getting bagels?
Everyone has the potential to get bagels. but
Well, like,
some
it's like
guys-
It's fucked up. Like I don't know if there's bagels going on around about me.
Bagel bit?
Well, so it'd be like someone throws
They're
a
not
bagel.
like inflatable bagels. They're like bagels for eating. Why would you
Yeah,
get
they're
a
like, no, why would I be offended by inflatable bagels? That sounds great.
Are you talking about like throwing a bagel in amongst folk in the pool?
No,
and it's
like just you can go up and get the bagel so you can eat it when you're in the pool.
no, that's
Would you
weird.
not?
Why would
With
you?
crumbs everywhere.
And just
Not only that, you should really,
Crumbs in the bed. You know, right, that
you should really swim while you're
oh, look at
eating as well. That dying for digestive.
It's soggy.
Yeah, exactly. Look.
Yeah.
See, like, when I was in Jamaica, the pool was attached to like a wee restaurant bit where you
When
could,
were you in Jamaica?
2001,
Right.
so a
So
long
before the
time
world
ago.
changed.
Before I knew that.
It was actually the weekend before the world changed.
Yeah.
And
But yeah,
they can't down all the bageling.
well, it wasn't bagels. It was like a burger stall thing. So like it was roasting though. It was like amazingly warm. So like being in the pool
Well, you want a
was
burger
the
that's
only way
roasted.
to be.
Oh,
Actually
cool.
Was this like a
So
bar
it's like
thing?
yeah, it was like you could just walk over to one edge of the swimming pool and like there'd be like a bit and you could be like I want a pint of red stripe and a burger and they would give you it and you're still in the water.
That sounds pretty cool.
See, you had that in Scotland though.
It would be a mess.
It'd be,
Yeah, it would be a
there'd
mess.
be chips and
Cola sauce in the water.
yeah, chips
Oh.
and cheese everywhere.
There would be like
as the water.
Neds throwing it like
Ah,
Yeah,
no.
of course. Pee everywhere,
yeah,
That's
'cause,
disgusting, Paul.
people make Glasgow.
Yeah.
So as was alluded to, we all watched apart from Paul.
Oh,
Not-
fucking hell.
Not the
Jesus.
royal we.
We watched a documentary on Netflix called I Know That Voice, which is about voiceover actors for cartoons and video games mostly.
Films, TV show, yeah.
And it was really good. It was directed and produced by
John DiMaggio.
John DiMaggio,
Yeah.
the voice of Bender from Futurama, the voice of
Marcus
Marcus
Phoenix.
Phoenix from Gears of War,
And Finn
and
from
Finn the
Kitchen.
dog. Yeah. So
Jake the dog.
Sorry, Jake, not
Jake the
Finn.
dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Adventure Time, right, man?
Sorry, bro.
And yeah, you just him just kind of interviewing all of his friends and kind of shining a spotlight on them and being like, I appreciate the work these guys do. We're all really, really good and
Yep.
stuff.
So, how many people did you recognise from this?
Well, there's a lot of people. There's some people whose names are recognised, but there's a lot of people whose voices are recognised. Obviously, when they were like, "Oh, this is
Oh, that's really good.
See, it's like I would say about 90% of people who showed up in it, I knew who they were because of Metal Gear.
really."
Yeah, there were a lot of Metal Gear.
It's like
It was great, man.
Tyler Strong came up and it was like, oh man, it's Paz.
Yeah.
And then Jennifer Hale showed up and it was like, oh, Femshep.
Yeah.
And Naomi.
Yeah.
It's like there were just all these different characters coming up. Jim Cummings came up and like all these other ones. And then eventually I turned to him and went, man, so where's Phil Lamar? And then Phil Lamar came up and I was like, yep, there we go.
Yeah,
So
a
good.
lot of them I knew from Futurama because I listened to all the commentaries on the DVDs, and yeah, like Phil Lamar and Maurice LaMarche and Billy West, obviously, they pop up an awful lot.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know how interesting this documentary was going to be because it was like, it kind of started off as like, this is what it takes to be a voice actor. It's not simply just you read the script and
You have to actually be an actor.
yeah, it's like you need to engulf the role. You need to kind of look at the drawing and be like, okay, right, or the whatever picture, just painting, just like, what do I want to bring to this role? Who should it sound like? Whatever. And I was like, yeah, I get all that. I understand that. But it did start going into some like kind of areas where you're like, wow, it's like, I never really kind of thought of it like that, or I never realized how much it can be a struggle. And especially coming in when they were saying how their profession is becoming popular amongst like A-listers and like, and it's I don't know. It's not like they're in danger of it. It's more a thing of like.
they were kind of coming from what you were saying. They were just saying like there's a very much a divide of a need for proper voice actors, and then the A-listers who decide to get in on it. Like, there's two very different things.
Prime example right now being Peter Dinklage, who is like the voice of your wee companion thing in Destiny, which is like arguably the biggest game of the year. And that's now went to like an A-list celebrity, where it would have in the past went to like someone who most people wouldn't have actually known to see.
Probably have done a better job.
But you've got like A-listers, but you've even got like I would say B-listers. You like Keith David has been doing voiceover work for years.
I only know him through voiceover.
Well, no, he's in like
he's in the thing.
Yeah, but I watched them post knowing him as the Arbiter or Daniels Mass Effect character.
No,
he's not Johnson. He's a Mass Effect character. Help me out. Commander.
He's also in Roadhouse.
Shepard's boss.
Anderson.
Yeah, but Keith, like even Hank Azaria, who gets he still gets work, and he's been in a lot of mainstream movies. But yeah, he's been in The Simpsons since they've started, and yeah, it was really cool when they explain to you how they put two voices together, or how they actually prepare.
Yeah, how Hank Azaria was like, oh, when I do Mo, it's just me doing a bad impression of Al Pacino.
Mm-hmm. And like, even the way they were talking about how it's like a song. It's like Walken. If I was doing Christopher Walken, this is how I do it. I think of it as a song. I think of it like this kind of melody. Whereas, and Nancy Carter is like Nelson Muntz is more like this, whereas Ralph Wiggum's more like that. I'm like, wow, like and that's a really great technique.
You have to have that tonality of being able to kind of have the rhythm of.
And just being able to like to watch them just like instantly switch between like all these different voices.
Fucking is it Daffy Duck? The guy who does is it Bugs Bunny actually?
He replaced
The one who does that's all folks thing.
Yeah.
Like,
That's Porter Big.
Yeah.
Well, when he's like breaking it down to like a bed.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
He replaced. I think it was
Well, Mel Blanc's son replaced him for a while, but then Billy West also does.
But they all reference Mel Blanc because he did like
Godfather,
Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck,
like all
of them.
them.
Yeah, exactly.
The story of how he came out of his coma was really
that was cool. I'm glad because I read about that on Practic before. I was glad they brought that up in the film.
But yeah, they're saying how just voice acting, it was really. I mean, I always like it when they go into the historical kind of things. Like it started way back then it's evolved to this, and just the way technology's going, especially, and then they start talking about how games and mocap, and you're just like, wow, it's like the possibilities are just endless these days, and like it seems nowadays. I mean, things with especially with things like Comic-Con, these folk were just like people behind a mic. Now it's a case of they're being recognised, like folk know John DiMaggio by his face, or Phil Lamar, Billy West. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, well. I mean, they kind of talk about as well. I think it was Jim Hanks was talking about when he was with Tom Hanks. He said
it was weird watching him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he's like a bald
Tom Hanks. Yeah,
exactly.
It was just wow. It's so weird. But he's like, how Tom would be like folk in the streets would just come up to him and they'd just be hounding him, and
I did not even make that connection.
It sounds just like him.
Yeah, I just didn't.
And he says he does the voice of Woody in all the games. You put that together.
God, I didn't like though. Like a week or two ago, like somebody else said that exact thing about. Yeah, fuck.
But yeah, it was crazy because he's like, it's like he couldn't go down the street to your local Starbucks without about 30 people just all around him. Whereas I can go and it's not a problem. I sound like him, I kind of look like him, but and he says that's the kind of great thing about being a voiceover artist, where it's like, or and any of that kind of profession where it's like you can be famous, you can be an actor, you can be in a lot of like mainstream things, but your identity is kind of your own, in which it's like, I mean, like Nancy Cartwright, I don't think can get away with it. Maybe not John DiMaggio, just like your more well-known folk.
No, but I think
they could anyone could if they want to.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm sure that once you start speaking, people will be like, hold on.
Do you know, Troy Baker was the only one I was like, oh, I thought he might have been in this. Maybe
he's relatively new.
But he is such a
name everywhere. Yeah.
I mean, he's in like Booker and The Last of Us. It's like doing two of the biggest games of the last whatever years, and I'm just surprised he wasn't in it.
Especially like during the Mark Hamill sequences, we talked about the Joker.
It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure.
He does it very, very well.
I really like coming from like the anonymity of the role. I think it was really interesting to hear and really kind of nice to hear that everyone is friends with each other and there's no ego there. Like they would, if they go to a casting and the director's like, oh, I'm really sorry, you're not right for this part, they'll just kind of go, well, hold on, if you should speak to Billy because he knows. They recommend each other, and there's that kind of camaraderie between everybody, and it's so refreshing to see that amongst, because it's not like it is cutthroat, but it's not as there's no ego and there's no kind of just like, oh well, fuck this guy.
Yeah, it's not like there's like you get a lot of folk where it's like if they're in the mainstream and they're an A-lister, that some of them might have an arrogance.
Yeah,
it's like look at me, you know, I deserve this amount, I do this, whatever. Whereas they're always kind of competing, whereas they just seem like a community where it's like, you know, you might not want me, but I know someone that might be better than me in this. But yeah, no, it was a good document. It was really well made. The production value was excellent. I would say like when it first started off, I was like, right, where are we going with this? But I really started to get into the meat of it, and I thought it was excellent. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at some news. Mark Ruffalo, this is interesting for a major star to be so candid for something like this. He said that he sent an email to Ryan Johnson, like desperately begging for a part in his next Star Wars movie.
I like that he didn't want the email in case maybe that got ignored or maybe he ended up in his junk box by accident. He was like, well, I'll just come out to the media and say it as well. Like, hopefully,
and now he has to check.
Call me.
He's like, whatever, I want to be in your Star Wars movie. Please let me do it.
J.J. Abrams is just kind of like, oh, like, I think I'm pretty good. Man.
I don't know if you just
I just thought about he's with you.
Yeah, but he's like, no, I've got Avengers stuff to be doing then.
Speaking of which, did you see the pictures of the Millennium Falcon that they're building?
Yeah.
Oh man.
For the Avengers?
They're building a full-size Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, like this guy who was taking aerial photos of his business accidentally snapped.
Accidentally.
Yeah, sure. He's like, oh, look at this thing. Millennium Falcon.
Oh my god!
So that's cool to see.
So like, the thing in the foreground is apparently the picture was out of focus.
Yes.
Is it that obvious?
Yeah. Look at my juice. Oh.
Well, does it just look like the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
Yep. It's only half built.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's so huge. You just don't see sets. No, it's not even sets. Like a prop slash set.
Would you mean like in Firefly maybe or?
But no, but they never built. They never built the full.
Yeah, they did.
They never built the full fireplace or any.
Yeah, they did. Because they talk about it, like one of the opening sequences in Serenity is like Mal walking through the entirety of the ship.
Yeah.
They did that intentionally
because
they wanted to feel like an actual.
Yeah, they built the interior on like a soundstage.
Yeah.
But they never built the outside of it and had it like a full spaceship.
Exterior.
Yeah. I said exterior, didn't I?
No.
What did I say?
Outside.
Yeah, you just kept you were talking with your hands a lot.
Alright, sorry.
I
said exterior.
Outside works. Outside works.
Yeah, I think you could have went. They did build it like this and just put your hands up.
Yeah, it looks cool. There's also a black X-Wing, which is probably not going to stay black. It's probably just yet to be painted. Although imagine a black X-Wing.
In space, that's the worst thing in the world.
No, that's a good idea. Think of it as an attack ship.
No, like it'll just get.
Why aren't they all black?
Lost or like no.
No, there's still going to be a pilot in it. Like everything else is painted black. It's just the X-wing.
So like, is it just going to be this floating head like in space?
An R2, you know.
Yeah.
It's like nobody can see me.
That's a good point. The TIE fighter should have been way harder to see.
Yeah, but in 1970, whatever it was, 6, it's like.
But they didn't know about colours.
It's more like, let's focus on getting it made and looking cool.
Yeah, man.
We can think about it, but even then.
If I was making like fighter craft to fight in space, I would make them entirely black. That's exactly how I would do it.
Because it looks cool.
Yeah.
It's practical.
Yeah, it's invisible.
Would you put them galaxy, like have galaxy details on
Yeah.
it so it just looks like you
Oh
just
shit! Yeah.
Or perfectly mirrored.
Yeah.
All these great.
You should get into
Or the helicopter.
NASA StarCraft business.
Those rebels wouldn't stand a chance. My invisible TIE fighters.
Why would you be on side of the Empire?
Why
Why wouldn't he be?
Yeah.
Why would he be?
And also, I don't know, just they're talking about making.
Paco wants to get rid of the scum that he doesn't agree with.
rebel scum?
I don't know if they're rebels. He just doesn't like scumbags.
And
Who does though?
There's been rumours of an Obi-Wan spin-off, but you know, whatever.
That's a rumour.
Let's not talk about rumours of characters, blah blah blah. Andrew Garfield's been out talking about Spider-Man 2 and
Why he thinks people doesn't like
why
it.
he thinks people don't like it. He said he blames it on studio interference because he said that there was a lot of changes from script to screen.
But yeah, so what's his excuse for the first one?
The first one wasn't terrible.
I was boring.
It wasn't terrible though. This second one was like embarrassing.
No, this one was bad, like really bad. But it's more like the Amazing Spider-Man. You're like, okay, this is kind of boring and it's not good. Whereas it's like Amazing Spider-Man 2, it's like this is worse. So it's not like you're going from say Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 3, which is a big, huge like what happened there. This is more like, oh, you took what was terrible, made it worse.
No. Like the first one had like the potential. Like you kind of went, yeah, okay, we had to get rid of this fucking origin story, which we're so sick of.
And
But it's got all the potential to like spring off and fit into place and be really, really good.
Whereas like the second one has things that are like actively bad, like the kind of like
Electro.
Just
Yes,
mistakes in like filmmaking, just like
Yeah.
a blockbuster song film. How did this?
I'm so glad I never
Well,
saw
the
this.
only we talked about it before. The only interesting, the only good thing about it is Gwen and Pierce, like,
Banner?
well, they're
Just
just their chemistry,
chemistry,
their acting. That's it. I like Dane DeHaan, but even then, I'm like, why did they do that with the Goblin?
yeah. Well, Andrew Garfield was saying that there was like basically like a whole third of the movie that got cut out and replaced with like presumably
the dubstep bit.
well the Rhino stuff and like the really obvious setup for
The Sinister Six
stuff. Yeah. So maybe it was like a tighter movie to begin with and it had more kind of character to it. And then you could have maybe excused the kind of goofy side of it, but they replaced it with really goofy stuff.
Oh, the other thing I really liked about Amazing Spider-Man 2 was I loved the theme. I thought the hero theme was amazing.
That intro, the first 10 minutes is really good.
I was like, that's one of the best hero themes I've heard in anything.
Yeah.
I still think it's amazing.
Yeah.
So what is your favourite hero theme?
Oh, God. What do you mean, like superhero?
What's your favourite hero theme? You're like, you hear it, and you're like, that man's about to do something good.
I don't know, like,
The original Superman one's hard to beat.
Yeah, okay.
That's like
that's amazing. Indiana Jones amazing. Back to the Future's amazing. You know,
Dangerous.
Dangerous one going?
Bond, obviously.
Yeah,
Great.
well, me and you frequently, when we've had a couple of drinks, we'll put on the intro of the Thundercats. That feels pretty awesome.
Oh, actually, you know, like, no, yeah, like, whenever that happens, it's like, woo!
James Bond, yeah.
That like, we should find we as a
Bored?
people,
There's
as
too many
humanity.
of this. There's too many. Like the original Batman one was like. You're like,
oh. When you watch that intro of the Thundercats, you feel like what's going to happen next is going to be the most amazing thing of all time. Even now, you're like, that's the best intro ever. It's like, yeah! And it's like, you know, it cuts to it and they're all being super fucking lame and the animation's really bad. And
I remember, I know what you're saying, but I still enjoy it. The same way like you would enjoy Voyager, even though you know it sucks. But yeah, I still really enjoy it. But yeah, the Thundercats theme, it's like you'll be watching it, if you've never seen it before, your face just kind of gradually goes from to
it's
gonna be the greatest thing ever.
They're fucking on the loose. Look at her, she's like running as fast as light and she's got a stick.
Been saying that you get some cartoons these days that have good kind of intro things. Like
Never,
the Adventure Time intro is really cool. It's like colourful and really cool.
I don't know if it counts as a hero theme, but like, the Pokemon music is like,
Childhood, man.
Yeah.
Childhood.
Like, man, I've seen that as well. I can't think what the tune goes for.
It's like,
I want to be the very best.
It's, the chorus is just like, makes you want to just right off a cliff on a Harley Davidson.
The Biker Mice from Mars one was like that as well.
God.
Wheels that are on fire.
Yeah.
That was awesome as well.
Yeah. Also the weird like 90s Spider-Man, like with the weird
Just those 90s things were awesome. The
X-Men
Turtles,
things as well.
Thundercats, that.
The Thundercats one is the best though. Like,
yeah.
from the moment it sets off, it's like, you're like, yeah!
It's like, what
Fucking go!
It's like, what about the
Definitely.
lyrics? How about we say Thundercats over and over again, but louder and more intense every time?
No, it's
Then
Thundercats
Steve-
are on the move, Thundercats are loose. You
It's
imagine
Thundercats!
Steve Vai's on the guitar, man.
Steve Vai makes that. Steve Vai does a guitar and it's fucking amazing.
for theme tunes that start and keep going. That means the old Power Rangers!
Ah, amazing.
That's true. Again, just nice and
That's-
shredding
that's
the guitar.
That's like, I mean, I know that like I'm implying here by default that Thundercats isn't super cheesy, but the Power Rangers one's like really, it's like some like middle-aged white dude be like, Power Rangers!
That's what it was, it
Everyone,
was
man.
really good.
It's like Thundercats, you can believe that was a
It
cat.
was the same as the Transformers movie. The animated one was like, you got the touch, you got the power. Yeah.
That was good, that was really good.
Love it.
So yeah, that's an impossible question. What's the greatest hero theme? I don't know. There's too many of them.
Internet?
Police Academy.
That is also good.
But you always use like, oh, there comes hilarity will ensue. Have you watched any of the Police Academy
No.
as an adult? Don't.
No.
They're still good. They're still good.
I really loved the fourth one and watching it. I'm like, it's not very good.
The fifth one was.
Citizens of Detroit.
Ah, yeah!
Yo,
That's
Blame
it.
that one. Blame that
I
one.
love Tackleberry.
Mhm.
He's good.
Yeah.
And that was my review of all 7 Police Academies. Or is there 8?
No, I think it's just 7.
7
No.
was Mission to Moscow.
So,
yes,
there
I
was
thought,
only
I thought
seven.
it was Mission in Moscow.
No,
They went to Moscow?
no.
Yeah.
Where do you not know the plot for that one?
No, I've only ever seen the first one.
So this is how.
Wow.
Oh what?
Not here.
I believe this is yours.
Mission to Moscow. The plot for it, if I remember right, is Ron Perlman, is
Yeah.
the bad guy, and he is a Russian who is trying to take over the youth of America by brainwashing them through Game Boys.
It was like a video game. It was like
Did
some.
they not already succeed for
It
like?
was
Why is he-
Tetris,
why is he
wasn't it? It
Russian?
was Tetris.
Alright, that's why.
No, it was like a rip-off of Donkey Kong, where it was a bear in a Russian outfit, being very Donkey Kong-y. Was that it? I thought it had like missile codes or some crap in it.
Was it not brainwashing?
All I remember is that
I remember that most of the cast wasn't in it.
Lassard gets lost at the airport and spends the rest of the movie with just some random Russian family, and he misses the whole film. That's all I remember because this is really because it wasn't very good. I feel like the rest of them are very good. City Under Siege wasn't good.
City Under Siege.
This is the sixth one. The fifth one is Mission to Miami. The fourth one is Citizen of Control.
See, like, I had in my head Gilbert Godfrey, not Gilbert Godfrey, somebody, one of those type of guys.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bobcat Goldthwait. Like
He's in the
Speedboat.
third. He's in the second, the third, and the fourth
So
one.
that'd be Miami. maybe.
He's got some good lines in them.
Bobcat Goldthwait.
Yeah, like I love like his intro in the.
The fourth one.
No, like
What the fuck is this?
I
It's
know.
the Police Academy.
I know all these movies so well.
Like the one like they got Bobcat Goldthwait was the bad guy in the second one,
That's right.
and then in the
Is it
third
called
one,
the policeman?
yeah, in the third
He
one,
wants to become a policeman.
so, like his intro in that is excellent. It's like he drives by the wee
Sweet Chuck.
Sweet
Yeah.
Chuck.
And he's like,
He's like, nice bike. Where do you keep berries? It's like, that's great. I want you to be Mrs. Z. And then like when he breaks his watch, he's like, you can't make it.
that's the fourth one. But yeah. The second one he's a baddie. Third one he trains because the third one's all about training civilians to be cops. And then the fourth one is about a community program where civilians, they're not cops as such, but they know how to sort themselves out if anything kicks off in the streets.
In the street.
Yeah, that's it. Tony Hawk's in the fourth one as well because there's
What?
always
Yeah, he's
there's
like a skateboard
gang.
guy. Mall.
Yeah,
Dear God. Is it going to be my big crossover feature?
yeah.
Charlie Adam explained why he dropped out of 50 Shades of Grey.
Okay.
Is it because he realised it was
Good
shit?
shit.
You
No,
think so?
no.
No,
He did the industry thing.
Yeah, he
It's
just
like,
said,
no,
"Oh,
it's-
I was exhausted from doing." Oh, and the way he explained it, it was like you would have to leave the set of Sons of Anarchy at like 11 at night, fly like across the country, and start filming immediately, and then finish that and fly back to the Sons of Anarchy. So it seemed like he was pretty busy.
Michael J. Fox had to do that for Back to the Future.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did, yeah.
But he's a better man.
I don't know if Bill
Actually,
Cunham's a bad lad or whatever, but let's put it this way: Back to the Future classic, 50 Shades of Grey, piece of crap.
Well,
He's probably done himself.
that's quite a subjective thing though.
What?
Like I'm sure there's like plenty of people who think that Back to the Future was
Oh,
garbage, and
no,
they think
nobody
50 Shades of Grey is a
like
classic.
that.
Whoa!
There's not
Those
plenty of
folk
people.
Take a walk into Govan and ask that question again to the.
You just keep clicking looks.
Laura, do your people give you click looks when you talk about Back to the Future?
Someone owns the loadings around here.
What do you mean? We are in Govan. Never mind take a walk in. We're here.
Look at the window.
You shout it into the night.
50,
What do government people think about the future?
50 Shades of Idiots.
Oh,
Yeah, that would describe that one, yeah.
but yeah,
Like, it's such a good one.
Here's a funny little piece of casting news. Idris Elba and Dominic West both have voices in the upcoming Finding Dory.
yeah.
Hopefully they're playing Stringer Bell and Minority.
Do you reckon Jake
It's
Pixar are going to go down?
Probably not.
It's fish.
Probably not.
They might play
Dominic West
detectives.
It's like
If they're finding Dory, it's like, oh, well, we're the detectives on the case, I guess.
they're police fish.
Yeah, will be something like that, maybe.
That would be good actually.
That would be
Yeah,
good.
police fish. I'm sure there's a fish out there that's like kind of coloured. That looks a bit like a police
A
fish.
cop.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's one called like a zebrafish that be like white and black.
probably. That sounds about right. Actually, that does exist in the first Finding Nemo movie. There's the
Does
Wacko
it?
fish. Yeah.
Yeah, because one
Voiced by
goes
Willem Dafoe.
that fish.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gil.
Ah, Gil. And he's a fish. There was new pictures of the Batmobile from the new Batman Superman movie. It looks
Yeah,
exactly like the
the
one from the
Tumblr,
Arkham
yep.
games. No,
It looks like Tumblr.
that was the Arkham game one. And it's got the little gun in the front of it. The big kind of high spiky wheels.
I think it looks like Tumblr.
Then where's a tank?
So this, pretty much.
Nah, this is the one from the Arkham games.
Rubber.
But yeah, if you're in
Agree
Batman,
to disagree.
and you're in Batman cars, go and look that up.
Batman!
Are you into Batman cards?
Yeah.
What's your favourite Batman car?
Oh, I did like the one from Batman Forever because I had the toy of it and I think the hood of it glowed up.
Glue
Blew
up?
up.
Glowed up?
Glowed.
Glowed?
Lit up.
Glow up?
Lit up.
What?
Or glowed.
Glowed up?
Not just glowed.
Just glowed? Ah.
My cousin had it. It had shampoo in it. It was like a shampoo bottle.
Oh yeah, I had that as well, yeah. I like the one from the Arkham
You're
series
still
as well.
confused about glue.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. What is
I mean,
what's the past tense of glow?
Glowed?
Glowed?
Oh, yeah.
Glowed? Okay.
English, you're crazy.
Tommy, you saw One Night in Istanbul, talk about it for no more than 3 minutes.
okay. Partly financed by Liverpool Football Club, and it is about.
Is that a joke?
No, that's true.
Okay.
It says like so-and-so pictures in association with Liverpool FC.
Directed by Stephen Gerrard.
Is it about them going to the takeaway that's across from the cinema?
No, it's not. That'd be a great movie if it ever opened again. But yeah, so it's about it centres around the Champions League final between AC Milan and Liverpool that was a couple of years back.
I'm already bored.
Yeah.
It's about
Stop talking.
two dads that are lifelong Liverpool fans, and they're trying to get to Istanbul to see the game. But I'm going to give you the synopsis, and then I'll tell you what I thought about it. But they don't have any money, so they've been every kind of Champions League final Liverpool have been in, and they want their sons to come with them. But they can't get
Do
any
any
money.
of you
So,
guys like football? Like any of you?
No.
I really like the dog stories.
bearing in mind, this podcast is for other folk, not just you. Okay, we're going to talk about this. All right. So anyway, yeah. So they're trying. They don't have any money. So what they do is they have they have Hitler's cufflinks, which they're going to sell, and then they're getting. I know, Paul. I know.
What?
They've got Hitler's cufflinks, which they're going to.
How do you know Hitler's
I'm
cufflinks?
going to get to that. Which they're going to sell to. They had because when they were in one of the Champions League finals, the guy dared him to go over and steal them in a museum. I know it's stupid. But yeah. Anyway, so they're going to give it to a guy they know in England who's got a contact in Istanbul. So they're going to go to Istanbul, get the money, get tickets, go see the game. But
They get arrested for theft.
they end up the guys that are handing over the money. They get locked up, and then unbeknownst to the two dads and their sons, they end up like finding a bag and it's got the money in it, and they don't know it's that money, so they're trying to keep it. And then it's about them trying to get to the final, and that's it. There's nothing really else to it other than that's it.
It sounds like No Country for Old Men with Scousers and Championship.
Is it you that said? Someone did say that to me.
Right.
Mhm.
So Liverpool FC are totally okay with some of their fans stealing
Drug money.
Hitler's
On that.
cufflinks
I think it's.
and drug money.
I think it's
They're
'cause-
okay with that.
Well,
And do
you
you know what
I
I guess
guess.
in football? A story about two thieves trying to watch it.
It's
Off.
But yeah, so basically that is how it plays out. I don't really know how it made the cinema.
Do they end up on the football field in the final?
No,
Like,
they
It's
end
going
up
to win and goal.
yeah,
they end up helping the police catch the real criminals
oh,
of the thing. I mean, that the only positive thing I have to say about this film. I mean, you heard the synopsis there. It's cheesy, it's guff, it's dumb, it's silly, it's but the only good thing about it is like the actual like characters in it they're likable and they've got a bit of a charm to them. So you're like, that's why I kind of stayed with the rest of the film. It's like, you know what, I quite like them. They're not horrendously bad people. This script is awful. The guy from Only Fools and Horses in it, Denzel, he's in Full Monty as well. I can't remember the name of the actor, but he's in it. And there's a couple of like Liverpool
Was
greats.
that annoying dude, the alien dude? What's his name?
Alien?
Danny Dyer? Danny Dyer?
Danny Dyer? No, he's not in it. No.
Sounds like something you'd be in.
Yeah, but no.
He's too busy with EastEnders. Back on
Yeah.
get better things to do.
But yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. I thought it's the kind of thing that should be straight to DVD. If you're a Liverpool fan, you'll probably enjoy it for the sake it's got Liverpool everywhere. It's about being a Liverpool fan. It's great. But other than that, I wouldn't go to the cinema to watch it. It's very cheesy. There's better things to watch. Put it like
Has it been busy?
No, no, it's not been busy, and rightly so. It's kind of a niche market.
Yeah. Liverpool fans who like
Yeah.
bloody train dramas with
Liverpool
nasty
fans that have
conflicts.
got it's like that's supposed to be a kind of charming story about these guys that just really like football and want to see the final, and they put this little heist story about it. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
well, that's just.
And I like football. I'm not a fan of Liverpool, but I love movies as well, and there are better things to watch.
Me and Paco and Laura and Paul?
Foxtrolls?
Foxtrolls?
Did we all watch Foxtrolls?
Phone call. Tommy saw it last week though.
I know, I saw it last week as well.
Did
So, yeah.
So yeah, three of us went to the Foxtrolls this week.
I see it for a second time.
Oh yeah? Did you like it that much?
Yep.
Um,
And I picked up Paul a wee box troll mascot as well because I heard that he's feeling a bit lonely.
Thank you, Tommy.
You're welcome.
yeah, like I mean, what you guys said last week, yeah, it was really good. Didn't think it was quite as good as Paranorman, but it's good. Obviously, the animation's incredibly watched as usual.
Mhm.
I thought the voice cast were really good. I thought there was I liked how there was like good kind of side stories.
Mhm.
Like I liked the thing. I just like the fact that everyone had like a character, which I don't know
Yeah.
sometimes just take for granted. Like how the two henchmen
Oh, I
weren't
love that,
aware they were
yeah.
bad guys, and like they
henchmen.
well,
Alright,
well,
yeah,
one-
that's right.
one
The
of
two
them-
that the actual question, yeah.
and like so they think that they're the stars of their own movie, kind of, but like you only see them for like a third of the time.
Can you believe that the other becomes Tracy Morgan?
I know.
It's such a weird.
Is he doing an English accent?
I
can't
don't
even
think
really
so.
tell. What
You
I don't
only ever
think
really
so.
says like one
Yeah.
word.
Yeah, lots of kind of weird muttery, just wow.
Why is it Tracy Morgan?
Yeah, it's like such a nothing part for somebody who's relatively popular.
I did one of my only person in the cinema to laugh at a joke bits again.
But
The bit where he's asking directions.
Yep.
that was a good
To
joke.
cards where he just like milk turns into it. It wasn't so much that crap joke. It was the
The rim shot.
the drums. I wouldn't say run shot, but I was like, yeah, someone's gonna make a joke about that. That was good.
I liked how the daughter had this weird, unexplained, like weird fetish for like
It wasn't so
order
much.
and stuff.
I didn't really see it as being like unexplained. It was more just because like her dad was ignoring her that she wanted him to die. Because
I
it's
didn't
like,
get that.
yeah, because she said it at one point. She's like, "Do you get to watch your family members be eaten alive?"
Oh no, I mean, did they
Yeah.
thank you?
Yeah.
I had to Google it, like, because it was like mostly in an empty screen. I had to Google halfway through who that voice actress was because it was bugging me so much.
Dakota Fanning.
Elle Fanning.
Really funny.
Because it's like the same voice she does in Maleficent, and it sounded so familiar to me. And
There it was.
there it was.
It
There
took,
it is.
it, like I did end up liking this a lot, but like the first maybe half hour, I wasn't too keen on. Like it was a really slow start. I just wasn't feeling it at all. Like I think maybe because I was expecting it to be as good as what I can remember Paranorman being, and because it kind of didn't really live up to that, it just
When did one you over?
burned out.
Kind of the interaction of
Like, yeah,
The
just
two
like
worlds.
more when you just when you get to see, like, after the whole montage sequence of him growing up and stuff, and you get to see more actual the box rules just doing
The
the
story
doing.
kind of starts.
Yeah, like especially I think like the moment where like I started laughing, like the most was when they uncovered the gigantic wheel of cheese, which was a fucking
The
great.
behemoth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the whole world building thing of it. Like they set up pretty early on and established.
Like,
Yeah, this is just this weird place where everyone eats cheese and there's box trolls.
Yeah, like, and lots of
things
like,
like
really simple but kind of like red hats and white hats.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
stands for so much, but it's so easy for like kids
Yeah.
just to get.
just like as a visual thing to
Yeah,
get okay.
cheese,
Yeah.
easy to understand, and that's something which.
And that villain was great. Ben
Yeah.
Kingsley's villain was
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's
in it. Yeah.
I actually thought it was Ray Winston, even though like you had spoke about it, like just when I was hearing it, like I was like, that's Ray Winston in it. It's,
Yeah.
No, it's Mike Kinsler.
Like Snatcher's got his own story as well, which is is another just a great thing, and where you're like, no, there's more to him than just he's a villain. It's like, no, he's wants to aspire to being like a white hat as well. Like,
They do a good job of making him look fucking filthy.
I loved
nasty, dirty animation.
I loved the bit, or I just loved, this particular bit where Eggs is trying to tell all of the high society of what's going on, and Jared Harris just kind of looks and says, "Do you know how much that cheese cost?" And they've just totally not taken in.
We
the
may
fact
as well have built it.
Yeah,
That's like that.
he doesn't
That was
listen
the
to-
moment I was like, fantastic. Even now, he does not understand
Yeah,
what
he's
he's
like,
saying.
he doesn't even listen to him, and he still continues on that he's Madame Frou Frou, and then it's like, why is he acting like my? Oh God, I regret
regret
so
it,
much. Yeah, it's like, excellent.
It was good. It was really
Yeah.
good.
Excellent indeed.
Oh.
I also like how, like, similar to Paranorman, that this has got the whole kind of theme of, like, not just kind of judging a book by its cover.
Yeah,
sort of thing, like, you know, like,
trying to fit in and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and
That runs through.
it's got quite a kind of strong moral, kind of an agreeable moral theme to it. It's not like, you know, something kind of crappy and childish. It's quite.
Oh yeah, it's just like quite a simple, quite universal. Like, just like don't be a dick. Like,
Yeah,
come on.
Exactly. We need more movies that are aimed at kids that just say "Don't be a dick." We need that. Box Trolls was one of them. I remember them beat their chest.
Oh, yeah,
really
yeah.
good. Really good.
Laura,
really-
thoughts?
About Box Trolls? I thought Box Trolls was great. It's a very certain parts of the animation, although the animation is fantastic, the character models are majority ugly, which
Yeah, Paul was just saying that, but
which
like,
I like.
yeah, but like in a good way.
In
Like,
a good way, yeah. It's not all just pretty and
Polished.
polished.
and-
It's really rough, and I like
Like
that.
even like little girls kind of like short and chubby and like has like freckles and like red hair. And, like,
This is like one of the most feminine type things I'll ever see. I think, but like the animation for her dress was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's
was
great.
breathtaking.
It
It
was like
was
just whenever she moved,
astonishing.
whenever she moved even slightly, like all the ruffles swayed. It was like, how long did that take? How long?
Yeah, like they had a meeting and they argued for hours on like
About that
whether-
Ruffles
yeah,
thing?
exactly. Like, the director said, "No, we're going to do Ruffles," and all the animators said, "No,
no, the ruffles. Yeah. It was good. It was really good.
It's
Like one thing, like you said about the like, they all look pretty bad. Kind of, you know,
Well,
like, ugly.
yeah.
It made me think that one problem I did have with it was sometimes the frame rate of the animation was a bit too slow.
It was a bit clunky
Yeah,
sometimes.
it was like really stuttery because it was kind of so slow at points.
'Cause I felt like some of the Snatcher character and these henchmen, quite a lot of the human characters weren't as expressive as I was expecting from Leica. Like their human characters are normally very expressive, but like the frame rate was a bit weird at points. Like there was only at certain bits that it would get really clunky, but on the whole it was really kind of solid. I'm just amazed about how many characters they had on screen at once. It was just
Yeah, big
Crazy.
crowd scenes, yeah.
crazy. They've always, like, from Coraline to this, they've always upped their game, and there's, like, as you said about the ruffles, it's like very much like Pixar. They always challenge themselves to do something like hair. Before Monsters Inc., they wouldn't do hair, or hair was done very, like, as in blocks. It was very static. So they decided, yeah, we're going to have this big, huge, fuzzy monster that has thousands and thousands of hairs. Fuck it, why not?
Do it, man.
Do
Go
it.
for it.
So I feel that they are constantly challenging themselves, which is fantastic. I really like the fact that it's I would say it was the most child-friendly Leica movie so far.
which even
Even from Leica, it's still.
Yeah, like it is obviously kind of like, gross looking at
Yeah.
points, and it is like a bit
Because
challenging.
you know,
but-
like the show we went to, was it not like kids left because they were scared?
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing about like his movies. You're like, okay, it's a family movie. You can watch this, and I mean, even like talking to like some folk, they're like, is this okay? Like, are my kids gonna be scared? I'm like, no, there's no really scary bits in it. The box trolls are lovable and they're there to help. I was like, the only thing I was like, the only, and I said to the parents, like, the only thing that looks kind of scary is Archibald Snatcher and the big machine he's got at the end, but it should be okay.
That bit like where the girl ends up in the box trolls cavern, and like she doesn't know that they're all right.
Yeah.
Like the tiny one, like what's his name?
Is it Shoe or
I think it's
oil?
Shoe. It's Shoe. Like he's just ate a bunch of bugs. He just kind of turned into like all the bugs going into that's great. Like the points where why am I losing the names? The main boy.
Eggs.
When he loses his box and they're like ah. Like, those bits are great as well.
Again, it's just a real respect for the craft in terms of attention to detail. We've been talking about. I love when Eggs goes into the party and anything startles him, he goes into a box.
Yeah.
And it's just, or he jumps into the neatest, like, wheelbarrow, sorry, not wheelbarrow, like, bin. And I was like, that's great. That's just a little thing in his character that they thought, we need to have
Oh,
that.
if he has a box trolley, it goes
But
in
yeah,
the
that's what I'm
box.
saying.
Right.
There's so many kind of, like, animated movies that just have, like, they'll have a character, like, making pop culture references, but they don't have that kind of, like, traits about them where they make them full and real. Whereas
Even
with
like-
Eggs, I was like, yeah, this is it.
Or even like when they try and give them treats all the time, they forget they've done it.
Yeah,
like,
how
by
they
like,
by
oh.
the end of the movie, he's just an ordinary person.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the one joke that was done. Now move on to.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like.
Like all this stuff where like they really go overboard taking the piss out of high society in it as well, like Victorian high society, which is fucking great. It's so funny to watch.
Every time that people got them come up and
When he was in his introductions in the party, it was absolutely
yeah, that was really good.
so funny.
I forgot about
So
that.
funny.
Pleased to meet you!
Even if I don't really mean
Yeah.
Shake hands, look them in the eye, and say pleased to meet you.
it.
It's great.
I really respect, I've always had this kind of theme running through their movies that they know that kids can take a hell of a lot more than adults. Like, kids love to be scared, and I think, like, Coraline is probably one of the most terrifying animated movies I've ever seen. It's like, they want to take over you and put buttons for your eyes. It's really creepy, and like, from Neil Gaiman, that's obviously the source, and he has an undercurrent of creepiness in his work. Then to Paranorman, zombies and
Ghosts
and witches and murder and all
See,
this
like,
stuff.
I more just like the idea that the humans are the ones that are usually the bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is what I think, like, just what you're saying, Laura. That's again something I love about, like, Box Trolls has it, Paranorman's got it. I don't know if Caroline's got it because I've not seen it.
Yeah.
But like, the ghosts are they're trying to they're kind of friendly, if you know what I mean, with Paranorman.
It's the whole like it's all about the kind of dangers of mob mentality.
Yeah.
People just
And
taking
Box Trolls
things.
has that. At one point, Eggs is like, I don't want to be a human anymore, but I'll be a Box Troll. And when you watch that, you're like, no, so would I, because the Box Trolls are they just kind of go about their business, just being intrigued by everything.
Loving music.
Yeah, whereas the humans are like, they hate them, they want them done with, and like you
Yeah.
said, the mob mentality. And Paranorman's got it as well when it kind of turns into almost like the Frankenstein movie,
Yeah.
where they're like, they want to burn them and all that. Whereas like, no, the zombies are just, they're trying to communicate with us because they're trying to help us.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love that. And I think like Guillermo del Toro does things like that as well, where like, you know, monsters are beautiful, they're lovely things, and you see that in a lot of his movies. And I think that there should be more animated films like that, where it's like something that can be scary and you can use that in a story as a vehicle for like scaring it. But you can also just like flip the coin and say, well, how about we're actually scared of humans because we know what they are, whereas monsters are still a mystery. You know, I like that. I love that in Box Trolls and Paranorman.
I really like how direct are because in most kids'
Sorry,
movies
yeah.
they insinuate the bad guy's going to kill them, but he's like, no, I'm going to kill these box trolls so I can get my cheese.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
His
and you're just
reason
like,
is great as well.
because he wants to join the cheese high society, but he's allergic to
Yes.
cheese, and he goes, oh,
And all of that itself,
It's
a
so
story
complicated.
within the story is like that's a plot within the actual main thing, and again that just shows that the layers of depth the story's got.
Like, the thing with Eggs' dad,
Yeah.
early on, I was like, I'm
Right.
surprised they went
Yeah,
as far as that.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
No, I'm not going to say that.
I know.
Like,
I know what you're
we've
gonna say.
already kind of said a few spoilers, I think, but like I'm not going to say that one.
But yeah, Go watch Box Trolls.
It's really good.
It's easily the best thing in
And
cinema.
Fish is an excellent dad.
Yeah.
He is an excellent.
No one saw Sex Tape.
Nope, no one wants to.
No.
Tragedy.
I watched The Guest. Now you may remember from last week. Paul said it was
And he
excellent.
was it last week or was it?
Yeah, it was last week.
Was it last week?
And Tommy wasn't too hot on it. I went and saw it, and I think Tommy's a crazy person because I thought it was.
I'm very much in the
Perfect.
minority here. I spoke to 5 people and they all say the same thing, and I'm like, I feel like Mugatu. I'm like, I'm taking crazy pills
You're
here.
getting crazy, girl.
Honestly, I was like, right, and then I speak more, but like, no, but watch it again though, because you might get it this time. And I'm like, well, maybe, because I mean, I remember watching Fight Club the first time. I was like, I don't like that. I think that's shit. Same as American Beauty. I was like, this is supposed to be funny. Love both of them now, but The Guest, maybe I should watch Your Next. I think maybe I'll get like what they're trying to do with it a bit more, because like those.
And Your Next falls into your part of the mill, your middle house, your wind house. I don't know.
Wheelhouse?
Wheelhouse. Yeah, your wheelhouse.
My Millhouse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because it's a kind of horror pastiche.
Mhm.
But like, I think that's maybe what's giving Tommy the wrong impression going into The Guest, because it's obviously made by filmmakers who love those kind of horror movies, and they embrace all those tropes and stuff, and they play up to them. But by no means is it them making fun of it or being like, oh, look at us, aren't we so clever? It's like they're making a movie.
Quite sincere, yeah.
It's just like they are embracing these things that now maybe seem a bit silly or a bit dated, but like they're like, well, these are the movies we like, so we're like going full on for this.
They're knowing how to lead into it in kind of at least a way that doesn't feel lazy.
Yeah.
In a way like a lot of other.
And not in a way that's going to be like winking at the audience. So this is like funny. It's like saying to the audience, "This is awesome, isn't it? Like, isn't it great when films do this kind of stuff? Like,
It's the damn right
look, he's
part.
still there, ah, yeah."
I
Like,
just did not get that. But yeah, you.
and like the soundtrack is incredible.
The soundtrack is incredible.
The lead performance is great from
Yep.
Dan Stevens.
Yeah, that's right.
I really like just how off the deep end it goes towards the end, and you kind of find out what's going on. You're like,
What, does it get like proper ridiculous?
Yes.
it gets pretty ridiculous, yeah, but like they just go with it. And I like that when a film's like,
Just commits itself.
yeah, like what was the movie Insidious? Or
Yeah, the first one, yeah.
yeah, where it's like it gets to like the third act and just
It's
again
just like, come with us.
takes
or
such a deep
jump
dive,
right
and you're
to
like,
it.
yeah, you're in for it now. So
But see, like with Insidious, like in part 1, see like the reveal of like the monster thing. That for me was that for me is when the film kind of
Yeah.
nosedived.
Not
I was like,
necessarily-
I'm with you here because I
not
get
necessarily
what
the
you're
monster, just that whole other realm.
Yeah,
No,
like he's
but-
literally going to go into a dream world
But-
and wander.
But see, the thing is, I thought Insidious 2 did it better. I was like, no, because we know, but I suppose you could say, well, you watched the first one, so
Yeah.
you know where it's at. Whereas I thought Insidious 2 wasn't as ridiculous as the first one.
Yeah, because there isn't that jump though. Like,
But I think that was maybe my problem with The Guest was I was with it for a while and then it did all of this kind of jump and I was like, oh, why? You were doing so well. But again, maybe I'll watch it again and have a different
Yeah,
thing.
maybe
about it.
even just the knowledge that it's going to happen will be enough to make
Yeah.
it.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, with Fight Club, that's maybe what did it for me there. In American Beauty, I'm like, oh, right, if I watch it like this or I keep this in mind. But I don't know. It's like-
Yeah.
yeah, I can't remember why I didn't like American Beauty the first time because I really love that movie now. I can remember why I didn't like Fight Club, but
Why didn't you just say why didn't you like it?
I think it's because
Was it
I didn't
the
watch it
end?
as a satire. I think that's what it was. I didn't watch it as almost like a comedy. It's the same as like it's like if you watch like I really like what's one with Christian Bale, American Psycho, but that's because I watch it as a satire now.
Yeah.
well, that's what it should be.
But that's what I'm saying.
I-
See, when it was marketed as a slasher movie.
Yeah.
With Fight Club, though, I don't think. Well, I mean, like the second half of it is a total satirical bit. Like, but the start of Fight Club, I wouldn't say really feels like satire. Like
No, the whole thing's
Yeah.
like.
Wait, I
I
guess
just
we're not
want
talking
voiceovers
about.
like so over the top and like
I think so. A
Yeah.
crazy weird look at like.
Patrick Bateman is such a
no, I'm not
character.
talking about American
You're talking
Psycho.
about
I'm
Fight Club.
talking about Fight Club.
Oh right, sorry. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which again, they still got voiceovers and stuff.
What?
which is
And
why I would
all
say-
that
Oliver
IKEA
IKEA,
stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Like I love that. Like
He's like,
See,
I need
see,
this
the-
stuff I
like,
don't really need.
I
like
fucking
here.
I absolutely love the first half of Fight Club, and then the second half just loses me. Like I it goes in a direction that I don't really like, and it just becomes quite a kind of
It's because
a
it
loose crappy
becomes.
movie.
You could argue that the reason for that is because it becomes a bit more unbelievable. But then you could then argue, well, what is actually happening and what isn't happening?
Yeah, but I mean, like, how many times in the show have I spoke about how I find the concept of deconstructing what it is to be human, like, really interesting, and the first half of Fight Club absolutely does that. Like, it shines the light on, like, negative aspects of humanity. It, like, singles out, you know, why these are negative, and, like, other points that just get glossed over. Like, you know, for me, the start of Fight Club isn't satire. Like, I don't think it's, you know, I don't find any kind of comedy in it. Like, it's more just like a.
I think that's like a dry comedy, but then you could argue that's maybe why Fight Club is regarded as now like as a classic, is because you can take so much from that film, as in you can look at it one way and enjoy it for that, like what you're talking about. Whereas we're like, well, you didn't see it, well, you don't see it from the get-go, whereas we do, and maybe that's. I don't know, maybe
It's
that's
like it's his total fucking hatred for humanity in the start of that movie.
Is that connected?
It just it really does. It absolutely does. It's good.
Well, I mean, even how he's getting over his, well, I even say hatred, the fact that he can't sleep in that is because he's kind of focus groups are talking about really grim things. Again, itself is just really good, and I've heard it's very kind of a Chuck Palahniuk thing to do because it happens in a lot of his novels.
It does happen a lot of them.
Yes. Yeah, so.
But like, I agree with Paul. The Guest is like on my top 5 probably of the year. I just thought it was
Wow.
so enjoyable. Like, yeah, just like a good there was laughs in it. But like it all felt kind of organic. It wasn't like sometimes there'll be a movie and there'll be like there'll be a bit that feels kind of out of place, like a little funny joke or whatever. But it seems like you've kind of stepped out of the movie for a second to be like, oh, here's a joke, and then go back to the movie. This all felt like I've described it to Tommy. It's like if Quentin Tarantino wasn't so Quentin Tarantino, if he was 100% more restrained and he made movies that he loved, like if he made movies based on movies he loved, which is what Tarantino does.
Would you say
he
if he
goes
wasn't
so
more
far
of an
with it?
auteur?
No, because like I still think the guys who make this can be classed.
Have
as
you
that.
seen Your Next?
Yeah.
Alright, okay.
Yeah, they are making the movies that they watched when they were younger and that they loved, which
Right.
is what Tarantino does, but he does it
Yeah,
in
like,
such a over the top fashion. Whereas this is them. Like, yeah, if Tarantino was 100% more restrained, this is what
it's like
he would get.
Tarantino applies his ego to it, whereas they're trying to make a film that would fit in with the films they love.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah, I don't
like,
necessarily think that
it's
it's
more-
because Tarantino applies his ego to it.
Well,
I
like,
think
if
it's because he has the mind of a child, and so he's
Yeah.
like, throw everything at it.
No, but it's more like,
It's so
as
exaggerated.
well as marketing this film, we're marketing my name. Whereas with these guys, it's like, no, here's our movie. Yeah, we made Your Next, right? But watch our movie. Because I don't even know the directors of The Guest or Your Next, but I know their work. Whereas,
Quentin Tarantino, then
because he
you're
puts himself in
That,
poster or whatever.
that's nothing really to do with the actual content of the films, though.
No, it's not about the
But
content of
Tarantino's
the film,
like-
but
Like when you look at Kill Bill, and like he clearly loves like all the kind of Japanese and Chinese martial arts movies, but like you could never watch his movie like next to those and think it's the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's inspired by, but it's like a total inflated version of it.
inspired by homage, ripped off. Take your pick.
Can we have any discussion with Quentin Tarantino whether it dissolving into just bashing him?
Well, he is a dick.
Yeah, he's a dick, but his movies are so good.
They are, but
But the point with this one is like also like those kind of movies that you're talking about earlier, Roadhouse and stuff, like those kind
Also-
of man shows up, but
Roadhouse.
bunch of shit goes down. It's like very like over the top and unbelievable stuff that wouldn't really happen in real life. This movie kind of like it has that element to it, but I don't know because filmmaking's came on a bit more since the 80s. Like
yeah,
it
it
just
on a bit. It came leaps and bounds. So
yeah, this feels like a modern version of that. Like if one of those movies was made now with kind of what we kind of think of as a movie now.
No, but I remember saying to you when I was watching like I said, I watched the trailer, didn't really fancy it. Seen the poster, I was like, all right, okay, so it looks like it's got a bit of an
I think it's a
action
really
vibe to it.
hard movie to market.
But then you watch it, and I was like, wait a minute, all the horror movie trailers are before this. What's this about? And then it starts, and then you've got like it looks like a very kind of 80s kind of production.
And then when it comes up with the Guest,
Yeah, it's like okay, so it's a horror movie.
movie.
Then it starts, and I'm like, so this isn't a horror movie. This is just this guy's going to be a protector or whatever. And then this, for me, descends into a horror movie.
Yeah, for like maybe the last like 20 minutes.
But
or
yeah,
so.
it makes such a jump where I was like, I'm not happy with that. It's like I'm not happy with the explanation of why all of a sudden it's kind of gone like that. But again,
over again, I like the explanation because it doesn't
everybody I've talked to are like, yeah, they're fine
it
with
gets
it.
out of the way in one sentence, and then you're like, cool.
Have you seen the? I'm losing the names. I'm losing all the names. He's a big one as well. Bruce Willis movie, The Hostage.
No,
Yes.
Or is it Hostage?
Yeah, it's called
Is it similar to that, where it's like most of the movies kind of grounded and alright, but then like for some fucking reason it becomes this like insane kind of serial killery kind of dude at the end. It's like mega powerful and kills
it's
SWAT
not
team
like
members.
yeah, I know what you mean. But it's interesting you say that because for most of Hostage, you're like, okay, so it's just this guy. It's a hostage situation. Here we go. And then come the end, it's like, who's this guy? The Crow or a ninja or what? With Guest, it's like, okay, so this guy is clearly he's military. He knows what he's doing, or whatever. But then all of a sudden, it's like, what? He's like the Terminator or something. And then it's like it does this, and this. But then it's like, oh well, it's descended into the realm of it's so funny. Whereas I didn't get that. I was like, no, this just all of a sudden went from being something I'm really enjoying to something that almost feels like it's a joke on itself.
So you did enjoy most of it though?
I thought the way it was going was like, and don't get me wrong, I like surprises, but it's like the way it was going, I was like, okay, this is fine. And then it just all of a sudden went to this other place, and I was like, right, now the horror aspect's coming in. It's a slash, but wait, it's a slash, but now why is that happening? And why would he do that? And like that, but like, I had a problem with that, whereas Paul and Alan and everybody else I've talked to like this says no, they liked that because they said they felt it was kind of going that way. As in, this is them showing the movies we watch. The filmmakers like we watch movies in the 80s. They were kind of ridiculous when they were like this. We're going to do our own thing about it. Maybe I didn't expect it, and that's why it was kind of annoying to me.
So much of the movie is building up to you asking yourself what's going on, what is this guy's deal? That's like that's. Where else were you expecting it to go? Like, I mean, I don't mean that in specifically were you expecting that to be the answer, but you have to be expecting it to eventually give you an answer.
But I think, again, even though my perception of this is how I think it's going to go, and that's not how it went, that's not like, I mean, that happens with loads of things. You're like, oh, I thought it was going to end that, but it didn't. With this, I was like, all right, it's going to turn out that he is like, I always thought he's a protector, he's like a guardian angel, he's like this, and then it's like, no, all of a sudden it's not that, and then he starts doing very erratic things, and you're given a loose explanation of why he's doing it. But for me, it wasn't enough. I'm like, no, for me, I was like, no, that's not acceptable. And then all of a sudden, it's like, what? He's the Terminator? He's indestructible? I was like, what?
Like all the way through, like I think his performance is like
he's excellent. Like, I can't fault
all the way through. Like there's something like really weird about him, and there's like lots of like very small sort of like everybody off to bed, and he's just sitting up in his room. He doesn't turn up, like just staring
angrily at the wall.
But again, for me, like again, I like because you find out like this agency, you're like, right, who is this guy? Wait, we found him again, but we need to go after him. I was like, oh man, it's gonna turn out like maybe he needs to protect the family. That's what it is. That's why he's watching, and he's basically really alert about stuff. That was my perception.
I think you had too much faith in this guy being a stand-up guy.
It wasn't so much a stand-up guy as like, all right, I thought I kind of knew where this was going, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, actually, this guy is he's.
Maybe you will like it a bit better second time, just judging on everything you're saying.
Maybe.
Now that you know what you're in for, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I thought
I'm in no rush to watch it again, but if it was on, I would give it a shot.
Like would be a great double feature with Drive, I think.
Drive's way better than it.
Drive's better than it, but stylistically they're similar. They're both kind of.
Ryan Gosling's been both of them.
yeah. There's the kind of neon synthy soundtracks and stuff, and about.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Oh no! Wait, before we get distracted, now that you like your next and the guest, don't need to watch all of ABCs of Death, but watch Q for Quack.
Is that the Adam Wingard?
Like, really, really good.
Cool. The Most Wanted Man. Let's go on to that next.
Okay.
Do you like Take a Tale from the Sky?
Not really.
Do you like Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Yeah.
I don't know what you know.
Never got it.
You didn't see. You didn't like Take a Tale?
Yeah,
The performance was good. It was well written. It was just frightfully dull.
Don't go see it.
I disagree.
I don't think he'll like this. Again, he'll probably be great in it.
Yeah, absolutely is.
Everybody is. Yeah.
Like, see, his intro into this is a scene from the back of his head where for like a minute all you hear is his breathing, and by the end of that minute I was like, I miss Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yeah. But yeah, A Most Wanted Man, based on the John le Carre novel. He did Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, The Constant Gardener. It's directed by Anton Corbijn, who did Control and The American. So right away, I'm like, okay, so this can be a very slow, very, slow-paced, old detective, old spy kind of thriller. And yeah, that's
exactly
what it is. Yeah, it comes up like in 2001 when the 9/11 attacks were masterminded. It was in Hamburg, and ever since then, the city is on high alert because they couldn't.
It just doesn't want it to happen again.
They do not want. Yeah. So the film follows Philip Seymour Hoffman and his little team of spies. But basically, they're on the street. They're the everyman. They're picking up information about possible threats, and then all of a sudden, this Russian kind of dissident comes in who may or may not be a terrorist sleeper cell. The higher ups in the kind of government are what they're saying, right? Well, you need to arrest him, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's like, no, we don't know who this guy is. So it's about them basically following this guy to see, right, what's going to happen. Is there an attack? And again,
but at the same time, unconnected to this guy, Philip Seymour Hoffman is making inquiries to someone else who may be funding Al Qaeda.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So this is like a separate thing.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you see this going on, and then it's like the guy is wanting to seek asylum in Hamburg because he's a tortured prisoner, and he seeks out Rachel McAdams, who's a lawyer, and is going to try and help him. So it is just about all these. Again, very old school. It's not so much vodka and martinis and seducing everybody. It's people meeting cars, they swap information, and it's about learning what this guy's about and where it's going. But yeah, and it builds and builds, and it has a very good ending. And yeah, it was a very satisfying thriller. My only problem with it, even though I knew it was going to be slow paced, my only problem with it was I thought it lingered a bit too much. Where I'm like, you could just move on. I know it's slow, and I know you're trying to unravel the story and keep us all going, but just get there a bit quicker. Paco didn't seem to have that problem.
Quite unusually, it's no other way around. Where like I'm sitting there counting down the minutes till like the film's going to end. But like this time round, like. The best kind of comparison I can make to this movie is like it's like reading a really good book.
Yeah.
It's that like that way when it's like
there's no doubt what the book is.
books aren't like amazingly exciting. It's not like you read pages. It's action packed. Unless it's like Station Zero, in which case there's an 80-page gunfight. But
90-page gunfight.
80-page gunfight. Nice. But yeah, like it's just this one that feels like that same feeling of just you're involved, you're invested in it, like you're totally just immersed in that world, like. Everything is kind of well developed, everything's well thought out, all the characters are really kind of grounded, but they've all got their own little things going on. Like, everything you'd want from it is exactly there.
Yeah, the story takes all kinds of twists and turns, but it's like Philip Seymour Hoffman, everybody, but particularly Philip Seymour Hoffman, because he's probably the lead guy, he's mesmerising. It's not just it's an American actor with a German accent, he totally engulfs the character.
Well, you said this before, and like my argument with that is that like it's easy for us to say that, but we don't really know what like a proper German accent should really sound like.
I know what you mean, but that's true. But I know when I'm watching a movie and I'll be like, yeah, you're giving it a go, but it kind of sucks.
Like it was more like just really understated. Like you can tell he was trying to sound European.
Yeah.
Like rather than American, and like, but everything was like kind of said under his breath and kind of.
Rachel McAdams
like couldn't be bothered.
There's a great German accent. Willem Dafoe looks like a demon. Is excellent in it as well.
They were all excellent.
Daniel Bruhl's in it as well.
Yeah.
So good cast.
Yeah, see, like as soon as Daniel Bruhl showed up, it was like, oh man, there's that really good guy that was in Rush and the Fifth Estate kind of thing.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But yeah,
more of him.
Yeah, but it's about 2 hours something long. But it's not for everybody. But if you enjoy your kind of slow-paced, old-school kind of thrillers, then it's right up your street.
It's a satisfying movie to watch.
Yeah,
again, like the ending is such a
I think you say that.
Yeah.
Because again,
like it's not going to blow your mind. You're not going to come out of it going like, "Oh my god, that was the best fucking film I've ever seen."
But you're going to be like, "That was a really good story, and it took its time." Again, I thought a wee bit too much, but it took its time, and come the end, you're like, "Yep, that was excellent. Wow, that was a really good story." Because I remember coming out of it thinking it was all right. But then the more I thought about it, and the more we talked about it, I'm like, you know what? No, that was really good. That was really good. I mean, You wouldn't. It's not like Guardians of the Galaxy where you come out and was like, I could watch all of that right now again. You're like, no, I will watch that in a while.
Yeah.
It does a really good thing as well, where it's a rarity when something gets amazingly tense over something that's normally so kind of trivial.
Yeah.
Like,
The signing of a document.
Yeah, like there's a part in the movie where someone has to sign something, and like they take about fucking 5 minutes, and you're sitting there going, oh my god,
Does he break his pencil over and over again?
But it's like, it was really good.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it.
Cool. So the last one we're going to talk about is Pride. Was it just me and you, Paul? No,
I
me,
saw it.
you, and Paul. Me, Paul, and Tommy. Paul, Tommy, and I.
Mm.
You saw it?
Yes.
Cool.
You're getting there.
A plus.
Thanks,
Thanks, cheers. New British comedy, I suppose, comedy drama.
I would say it's a comedy drama, light-hearted drama.
Yeah, but dealing with some pretty weighty issues.
Yeah.
It's about the miners' strike in the mid-80s, when the striking miners in Wales were joined and supported by a group of gay and lesbian activists.
Yeah, it was like they weren't really like accepted in London or whatever, where
Or anywhere in the UK.
Yeah, or anywhere in the UK, but this Welsh community were like, well, no, come in, because this isn't about you being gay or you being straight. This is about us fighting for a good cause.
Yeah, it's about one group of oppressed people sticking up for another group of oppressed people, and then both like
uniting.
Yeah,
being oppressed together.
Yeah, and
and
they have each other back.
it's really, really good.
It was excellent.
Yeah,
really
good movie.
Like life-affirming, feel-good type of
Because you've
gentle
got
British comedy.
Yeah, it's that kind of British comedy which like British is
there's Amanda
really
Stanton.
fucking well.
She's
Like,
lovely.
Yeah. It's like, because it doesn't follow just
Where
like,
it's like, it's lovely, but also kind of menial.
it was just that way. Like, it didn't follow just one person. Like, everybody had like there's a big. I mean, like Paddy Considine's in it.
What characters in
Yeah,
this
Dominic
movie?
Weston, Paddy Considine, Bill Nye, Milestone. Yeah, it's like there's a lot of folk, and they've all got their own little stories, like about what's going on, and like you're following them. Like Joe, and the character Joe, it's like his family don't know he's gay. But like he goes to a place where he's accepted, and it's about him kind of having the confidence to come out and be who he wants to be.
I was so glad that there's another film which did it recently, and I think it might have been Frank, where I know, but it started off with like, here's your eyes into the story, and then they kind of got into the story and was like, and then we're going to go leave him behind because he's the least interesting part of it.
Yeah, but I did like it because it kind of leads you in like that, but then it becomes like this isn't a character study. This is about a point in history where there's big changes in people's attitudes, and we are now in 2014 because of those like from that point, certainly in Britain, where folk were like being accepted, and it wasn't like, look, it's not about me and you. It's about this is fighting for what's right.
And like, so obviously so much of the kind of drama comes from the fact that a group of Welsh miners, kind of manly men,
traditional, very old school,
spend all the time down the coal mines, probably aren't the most open-minded, liberal people.
But you see, the police aren't either. The police make fun of them as well.
Horrible bastards in that film. But that's where the drama comes from, like bringing these two very different groups together, and
who actually have a lot in common. And we, as the viewer, have that kind of dramatic irony, knowing that they should be able to get on and should be able to kind of combine their forces.
Because like the guy who originally comes up with the idea to go and support the miners, like he comes up with it because he genuinely thinks they're the same as us. They're this oppressed people who are just struggling to get by. They're fighting for human rights, same as we are. And the other gay people are kind of like see it more as like a publicity thing, saying, "Oh yeah, this is a good way to get our name out there."
And even a couple of them who are like, "Well, I don't really want to take part in it because miners who I grew up around kicked the shit out of me for being gay."
Yeah, but there's like that one guy who just sees past all that, and he's like, "No, like these are people we people need. We should help them out." And then as gradually they kind of break down the preconceptions that the miners have, most of them, and kind of befriend them. And Paddy Considine's kind of the flip side. He's like he's on the miner side, and he's the same, and that all he sees is someone else trying to lend a hand.
Yeah, he just wants to support his
boys.
He's
really good in it as well.
Can I say, like, very quickly, Paddy Considine, I think like one of the greatest actors working. Like,
he's really good. Yeah,
fucking brilliant. And everything.
And Bill Nye was excellent at it as
He's
well.
always excellent.
But no,
Not always.
I thought,
come on, man.
Underworld.
Yeah, he's fun in that, isn't he? It's having a good time.
No.
Even in Anne Frankenstein, you're like, he's clearly just here for the paycheck, so he's taking the piss.
Yeah, no, everything about this film worked. It was funny. It was hitting the kind of like it tugged at the heartstrings. It was just really well made, really well acted, very well written, and just interesting. It's like it made you came away like I want to learn a bit more about like that time. What was that all about? Like in terms of like the actual miners' strike and that, and like where was like the gay, lesbian, transgender kind of like where were they at that point before then? It was just really good, man. It was a surprise for me because I was like, I don't really know much about this film, but then watching I was like, yeah, this was excellent.
Like, as a straight white male,
let's throw it all in.
There's
You're white.
I have nothing to get angry about. So like it's the kind of film that you watch and you kind of like. I wish I had something to be like, yeah, we did it, guys.
Are you kidding, man? Like, I'm a street white male and I'm angry at everything.
It does make you kind of like proud to not be from then, I guess, and to think, oh, I've never had an issue with any of this stuff. I'm glad you all went through it.
Or be like, see, I was back then. I would have.
Yeah, you like to think that you would have been on their side and helped them out and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like still rigs being fought with after Alan. You can get.
No, we fixed it. Did you want to see the movie?
Yeah.
I feel like all I've done is like praise performances. Dominic West. When's the last time you've been able to say Dominic West? Well done. You can be proud of that.
Yeah,
never a long time.
So he's like healed the wounds of John Carter.
Yup. Yeah, John Carter of the Punisher, Warzone.
Yeah.
Just
like that dance scene he has is great. Like,
yeah,
it's fantastic.
That's
Is anyone in drag?
Sometimes, yeah. Like Imelda Staunton, she plays one of the biggest, most horrible bitches in cinema history. And Harry Potter.
Yeah. Because I thought she was a delight.
And that she's like such a lovely person.
Who's she in Harry Potter?
Dolores Umbridge.
Yeah.
She is a cunt.
I don't know why I asked. That still means nothing.
What is the word that she carved into Hermione's hand?
What?
Fartface.
Is it not just like liar or something?
No, it's Harry's face. It's Harry's hand that is liar.
Alright, okay. Did she not carve something in Hermione's hand?
No. Because Harry has to write lines. I will not lie. And it carves out his arm and his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, horrible.
She's a cunt.
Yeah. But yeah, in this movie, like, it has a lovely Welsh accent. And who I thought was great? Dominic West's boyfriend in it.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
Who is that guy? He's fantastic in this movie, I thought.
Just so we're clear here, Dominic West is the dude that was Jigsaw in the Punisher.
Yes.
Yeah.
And McNulty in The Wire.
I've never seen one.
Oh, mate. Shit, it's really good.
Yeah, never seen him being good.
Yes.
Yeah, that is actually true.
Kind of movie that everyone should see, I think.
Yeah, I think there's something for
Sorry,
everybody.
can I interrupt about what you were saying about his boyfriend?
He's just really good in it, and I don't know that actor.
Just like somehow found a good happy ending to like. I mean, it's about the miners' strike. Spoilers. The mines get closed down. Mass unemployment reigns, and like a lot of really fucked up stuff happens. And yet they're able to kind of find, a true, based on true history, like happy ending to kind of.
Yeah, and that bit at the end is genuinely kind of like heart swellingly like.
They held out for the banner. Like that was the first thing you saw the banner.
Yeah.
Good movie making, guys. Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, you should go and watch it. Unless you're a homophobe.
No,
Well, maybe you should watch it even more so in that case, yeah.
You're homophobe, we don't want you to listen to.
So yeah, if you don't want any stuff like that, then you should all go and vote yes this Thursday.
Man, we were doing so well.
I just said that to the police. They were like,
Do you know, right? I'm at work. I'm gonna leave that until we're off.
oh, some politics, yeah.
Like a little bit.
An auspicious week in Glasgow, in Scotland.
History's going to be made
Just
up.
Glasgow.
Yeah.
History's going to be made up.
Yeah. We're holding our own independence rally. We're sick of Paisley.
Fucking God, like, yeah. Now
Linwood.
you bring it up.
Paisley no more. Linwood no more.
I don't think that's what they meant when they wrote that song. Yeah, join in next week when we'll have reviews of
Maybe
If
any.
cinema still exists.
Magic in the Moonlight, the new Woody Allen movie.
Oh no!
It's got Emma Stone in it.
I don't
Yeah,
know, can I
like-
say, like an unnamed colleague of ours collectively, his dad called me, what was it?
Touchy.
Touchy cunt
I saw
on
that. Yeah, I
Facebook
did see that.
because I said I don't like Woody Allen. How unbelievable was that? He's right.
I don't like Woody Allen.
Yeah, that's like, no one seems like Woody Allen,
No.
apart from crazy people.
The Riot Club is out.
Posh people do worse things.
Uh-huh. A Walk Among the Tombstones.
That's supposed to be alright.
Yeah, I think it
looks
looks okay. Yeah. And Wish I Was Here with new Zach Braff.
The Kickstarter movie.
Yep. So there's all that.
Hold on. I don't know anything about that. Is that going to be along the lines of Garden State and stuff? Or?
Probably Zach
Oh,
Braff. So
yeah.
yeah.
I'm up for that. Like that.
It looks a bit too
Twee.
Was that graphic?
twee. Yeah.
People said that about Garden State as well. I thought it was an excellent film.
Well, I liked it. Yeah. But yeah, all
Wearing
that.
bin bags and shouting that.
That was Garden State.
Yep. All that and more. Maybe from Independent Scotland. Who knows? Next week.
Yeah.
We don't need that on the show. It is all over Facebook and plastered all over the city.
Have you been in town centre recently? Like, it's cool. Just like city's alive. People are out and doing stuff, and
I'm annoyed. with
all eyes on Scotland at the moment. It's cool.
Yeah, Willie.
Aye.
Coming out for us.
Aye.
I delivered. It was a yes leaflet through the door, and the guy made a point of like rattling the window and like ripping it in front of me, and I was like,
I don't care.
I'm just a
you
postman.
don't seem to realise that I'm not working for the yes campaign. Like, you fucking moron.
Well, I thought the royal uniform would have gave it away.
Yeah.
You know.
But no. Okay. Today I was handing out no leaflets.
Yeah. I was gonna say you're just gonna be like rattling his thing when his next package comes and just go you'll never know.
Also, like, this really annoys me. This sums up what I fucking hate about people in the area I work in. A guy walked up to me in the street and asked me when the voters poll leaflets were coming out. As in, like, people who
Poll
can't,
cards.
Yeah.
like people who can't make it to the polling station get like a vote
right.
thing sent
The
out to
postal
them.
votes,
Oh,
yeah.
right. Like,
Is
The
that
guy-
already?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The guy literally walked up to me outside the school where the voting station is, asking when the delivered one's going to be. That fucking annoys me. He obviously doesn't need it. Like, he's fucking right next to the polling
Maybe it
station.
wasn't for him. Maybe it was for his invalid mother that he's out buying
Or
shopping.
maybe he's a dick.
Well, I was gonna say, are you criticising people who barely leave their house?
No, I'm criticizing people who are on benefits when they shouldn't be.
We're making a lot of snap judgments with this guy.
Like, he can fucking walk.
Yeah, maybe it's not for him.
Yeah. You know, I know you don't have all the.
I mean, no matter what, like, he should have had his postal vote by now. Like, he has badly researched this and has left it way too late.
If you want to have a go at him for being badly researched, then feel free.
Are you talking about me? Or
Yeah,
the guy?
yeah.
Well, yeah, did you know the answer? Because then he'll have a go at you. It's just like...
Bloody postman doesn't even know
See, like,
basic politics.
one thing I will say is, like, we're back in when I can't remember, we've actually got this into referendums because like, yes and no aside, like back in the kind of days when this was first starting out, like a lot of people's concerns was like people just voting without being informed, but like the debate has become just such a part of everyday life that it is impossible not to be informed.
Which is a good
That's
thing.
pretty good.
Yeah.
It's
That everyone should have an opinion.
like voter registration.
Well,
like
what was it?
90%.
Yeah.
What was it you said?
One of the figures I saw today was 96.
You're like, oh man, my lecturer said this to me, and I never forgot this. What was it you said?
Yeah, he was right. I think he'll agree back. He once told us, he said that people will always tell you that everyone's entitled to an opinion, and that's bullshit, because some people aren't entitled to opinion. He said everyone's entitled to an educated opinion, an informed opinion.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
right on!
Look, that's actually why I didn't vote in the last general election.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I-
right, it didn't
Yeah,
make
I
a
said
difference.
to Craig, like, make Craig who's writing his politics, who's probably listening to the show. And
I
like,
told him
what
that he
we
didn't
were
like his shorts. He's
Well,
very
I mean, he
much-
would have heard it. It was on there.
yeah, but he's like he hadn't heard it yet, and I said, yeah, you had to go with your shorts again. He's like, look, what's wrong with these shorts?
I've not
That
had
says nothing, man.
I've not had an angry text off yet. But yeah, I
Okay.
said to him, I was like, I didn't vote because I figured that me just voting like without knowing anything about the ins and outs of it was probably worse than a no vote. No, sorry, than
You probably live in such a strong Labour seat that it
Yeah,
doesn't make
yeah.
every difference.
Yeah.
And then overall,
No, it matters.
Yes,
doesn't make a difference either, because, you know, we're like 2% of the vote or whatever.
However,
Yeah.
that could all change.
Hold on, I said general election, but I don't think I was right. What was the last thing we were entitled to vote for in this
EU,
country.
maybe.
Wasn't that the Scottish Parliament?
Maybe like
No.
Boring!
I voted Lib Dem for the one that ended up with the Tories getting.
Okay, yeah, that's the
Yeah,
difference.
So that was,
Yeah.
that was the last thing I voted.
Thanks,
So
Paco.
there was one in like 2012, wasn't there?
Yes,
Some vote then?
Anyway, so join in next week with the reviews of that, and I don't know, we'll sign Caledonia or something like that. Peace out!